Good morning. Well, I hope you can hear me okay because it is quite blustery, but at the minute I'm protected by these two hedges. I am starting day one of my 2 weeks and a day of annual leave where I pretend for the entire time that this is what I can do full time for the rest of my life. So today I'm starting off. I've been and already got plenty of jobs done at home. I've got the animals done, I've done some housework and borrowed things like that. But I thought let's catch up while I'm on this walk and let you know what to expect over the next couple of weeks. But if you're new here, normally Stephen and I, my husband and I, put out videos at least once a week. We try to go a little bit more sometimes, but because we both work full time, they're usually about once a week, all around smallholding related activities. You can hear the seagulls. We don't live near the seaside, but they're having a feast at the minute because there's a lot of tractor work going on in the fields. So we put a video out normally once a week that's kind of smallholding related. In between that, I sprinkle a bit of in the kitchen garden videos for all of the self-sufficiency vegetables growing that we do. Over the winter there's less kitchen garden videos naturally because there's less to do in the kitchen garden, well in theory, but less things that people are interested in, which is growing, harvesting and eating the veggies. So as we're moving into the rest of the year there'll be a lot more of those kitchen garden videos, but for the next couple of weeks our schedule is going to be very different to normal. It's an absolutely glorious day. It's quite blustery though, so I think there might be a bit of interference. So for the next couple of weeks I'm going to be taking you along with me, showing you what I'm getting up to most days, if not every day. Stephen's got 1 week off of those 2 weeks and I've got 2 weeks off, so I'll be doing all kinds of different things. One thing that I wanted to let you know about the schedule that's coming up. Oh, what's going on down here? I'll tell you that in just a second, but before I get into it, so this pathway that I'm on is obviously very quiet. There is a house up there, a couple of farms up the top, and I can see one person walking, but there seems to be a couple of vehicles down here that I'm not that comfortable with. So I think I'm going to turn around and head back. It does just look like workmen, but still. Let's turn around and be safe. So what I was saying about the schedule, for the next couple of weeks I'm going to be essentially taking you along every day. It's not all going to be smallholding related. There'll be a lot of non-smallholding related stuff, things that, you know, everyday things that we all do. I'm not going to stand and show you how I wash the clothes or anything crazy like that, but you get my point. It's not just going to be smallholding related. Hence why we're out on a walk at the minute. What am I even doing out on a walk? I'm wondering myself. It feels like I'm miles away from home at the moment. I think I am, maybe about 2 miles away. I'm trying to walk 20,000 steps a day for the entire duration of April, but I'm starting today, which is Good Friday. Being my first day off, I thought it was a good time to get started. So I'm already out of breath, so apologies for that. So this is where I've just come from, that I was saying, a couple of farms up here. These farms have been around. They are on the original maps of where we live. And our house is on about an 1890 map, but I can't find anything from before that. We were told our house was built in about 1850, but this one's been around much longer than that. You can see the farmer out to work as well. So yeah, next couple of weeks, it's going to be a mishmash of just my life, our lives together, depending on who's around at the time. If that's not your thing, there will be some regular videos interspersed. But if that's not your thing, don't worry. Nobody's here because they have to be. I want everybody to be here because they want to be. Whew. And we'll be back to normal in 2 weeks' time. But in between them, there's going to be a lot of when I say not smallholding, they'll all be smallholding because we're doing smallholding stuff all day, every day. But it might be that it's not just about smallholding and gardening activities, is my point. And this lane here is a public lane. That's why I'm videoing here. But he's got all of his gates closed because you actually walk through his farm as part of the bridle path. It's so nice to have sun on my first day off as well. We've got a really busy day planned. Stephen's at work today and I've got so many things on the list. One of those people who's always got a list going on. I don't ever feel as though, well, 90% of the time I don't feel, you know, that it's overwhelming or anything. Sometimes when you don't get to the end of your list it can be a bit, wanting to get all that done. But I know that my lists are far too long. I'll never get it all done in a day. I'll never get it all done in this lifetime, I don't think. So that pond and the little gate that I've just shown you that we were coming through, that's all public. So again, nothing to worry about there. It's absolutely adorable. I love that little area down there. We call it Beamish because it reminds us of Beamish Museum, which you guys have seen us visit before. It's an outdoor open air museum, how people used to live in the past. And the funny thing is, we go there and some of it's home from home. Absolutely love it. And that's part of these 2 weeks that I've got off now. When I say living, I joke saying, you know, living as if I didn't have to work for a living, or we didn't have to work for a living. Because this is more of a me thing than Stephen. But it's just embracing a little bit of a steadier lifestyle, a slow lifestyle. People talk about this slow living. I love watching it and seeing the stuff, but heck, that doesn't fit in with my life. I cannot imagine a slow living life for us. I appreciate it and I like watching it, but we've just got too much chaos, organised chaos going on to be a slow living family. However, on these 2 weeks that I've got off, because we haven't got the time pressures, the only pressures we've got are our self-inflicted pressures for the most part. And it's just going to be pure joy being able to do things at our own pace. Because if you've seen any of our other videos, you'll know that we like to get a lot accomplished on weekends because we work full time. We spend most of the weekends getting on with stuff. So we do get a lot achieved in the weekend. So we are grafters, not to blow our own trumpets, or hard workers if that doesn't translate. But we will definitely be getting some rest and relaxation during this time off too. It's so nice to see the sun. Shadows, goodness me. Change arms. I was really cold when I came out, my hands were freezing. I'm laughing because I went and got a new baseball hat to do the gardening because I struggle with the sunlight, my eyes get quite sensitive. I told you there was going to be more non-gardening related stuff. So I went and got a baseball hat and it's too bloody small. Stephen's going to nab it, I know he is, because I've got an absolutely huge head, so I'm going to have to get a slightly bigger one. But for now, it's keeping the sun out of my eyes, doing a job. So I'm not too bothered. I'm laughing though because I've just seen on my phone as I'm walking, I've just seen on a Facebook post that I put on this morning, my mum's commented saying, enjoy yourself, enjoy the gardening, get outside and forget the housework. So if that's what mum says, there's no housework getting done here. Good thing about coming out on the walk and doing these videos nice and early is talking to you guys makes the walk go faster. I enjoy walking, I love seeing everything, all the nature around, things like that, but I'm not a born athlete, shall we say. Far from it. So yeah, if I didn't have anything to do, it would feel like much more of a chore. And getting to 20,000 steps, it's going to be more. Normally I'll get at least 10,000, so 20,000 on a weekend. I average about 17 or 18 if we've had a busy one, so it shouldn't be too hard. But we've also got guests coming today about 3:30, 4 o'clock, because we are going to be officially opening the outdoor kitchen again for the year, which I'm so excited about. That's one of the jobs I need to get done, is get the storeroom prepared at the back that you guys saw Stephen built last year. And then I also must get the seed potatoes in. I said I'd get those in on Good Friday and the weather is being kind enough to let me do that, so I'm going to get those in and also get the parsnips sown. That if you caught my last gardening video, I didn't get those in, I just got all the carrots in. So those are the three must do things today, and there's about 20 other things that I'd also like to get done. Now you know what to expect. Let's get on with it. syrup that you saw me prepare, I've just put the rest in a pot because there was 2 portions there, and tomorrow they can go straight on. And also here I have got a pork joint, home raised pork, going in the slow cooker. I've already got a huge leg of mutton in the other slow cooker. I'm not using the Arga because at the moment the Arga's running really cold, and it basically won't be done in the Arga if I put it in now. I would have needed to put it in 24 hours ago. Not too sure why it's doing that at the minute. But anyway, so we've got a leg of mutton, a joint of pork, and that's going to be for our meals later, because I'm certainly not going to be wanting to cook after everything I've got to get done today. And I'm going to be having my first glass of wine this year, my first glass of alcohol this year, later on this afternoon. So as long as everyone's got food, I don't need to worry. But one thing I'm going to be doing every day is putting a different flavoured loaf of bread on. I'm just going to do a standard white bread today, but tomorrow I'm going to have a different, I think I might do sun-dried tomatoes in oil. Not sure about that, but anyway, I've got a lot of different recipes that I want to play about with. So every day we're going to be making a different loaf of bread in the bread maker as well. I've seen me make the bread before, but it is really easy. This is going to be a 400 gram loaf, so literally we're doing 400 grams of white bread flour. Don't forget to set your scales. We're going to do a teaspoon of yeast, a generous teaspoon, 1¼ teaspoon of salt. I'm putting these in no particular order because this is going to go straight on, so I'm not worried about the salt killing the yeast off or anything like that. You can put sugar in if you want, 20 grams of butter, 1 tablespoon of sugar, or up to. Some people choose to do that, other people don't. I, of course, will. 20 grams of butter. This is really softened. You can add up to a tablespoon of sugar in, but I'm adding just a little bit less. And then 280 ml of water. There's 200 in here. I need to go and get another 80. That's it. I'm going to put that on, and that'll be done in about 4 hours. Well, would you believe it is still the same day, but now we've got the winter woolly hat on and it's raining again. Temperature has really dropped again, but not going to stop me. So I've got the seed potatoes, which we will get to, that need to go in the ground. But first of all, I'm going to go and work in the storeroom, which shouldn't take too long, just while it's raining, because that's been used as a bit of a winter sort of dumping ground, you know, just over the cold months when we've been using the jars off the shelves and then they need to go back into storage. And I've said to the kids, take these in there for me please, and they've literally opened the door and hopefully not thrown them in, but you know what I mean. So I'm going to go in there and get started tidying that out. Oh, I can't get my zip down. And once that's done, that'll be ready for us to eat over in that way later on. But I must get those seed potatoes in today because I really want them to start growing. They'll be fine if it was another few days or whatever. Not everybody's got theirs in just yet, but it's just one of those things. I wanted to get it done on Good Friday. There we go. This is what it's looking like. So literally bags of jars have just been brought in, filled the back. All I'm going to do is just get these on the shelves. So what we've got left out of the food that we jarred up, this is a jar of beans. In fact, all of these are beans that are left. They are absolutely delicious. I did loads of those. A few jars of stock, 2 of fat, and those are whole tomatoes, which I actually need to get those used up. I've forgotten about those. Bramble jam. Oh, elephant garlic. I totally forgot about the elephant garlic. That should have been in the ground a long time ago. So the ones that came out as single cloves, I got told that you could just replant them and go again next year or this year. May as well still try and get them in. I'll get some of these in a pot. Oops. Right, I've got my hat off so I benefit from it when I put it back on to go outside. I'm just going to start by putting the rest of these empty jars on these shelves so that when I start the canning again this week, I can just come in and grab some, give them a wash and get them used for canning. So there's a couple of the buckets as well that we're going to be using to ferment. Both of these are empty, thankfully. These are going to be used to, I'm going to make a small batch of rhubarb wine. So in previous years, I've made the mistake of trying to do too much at once in everything, not just in winemaking. So this year, I'm just going to make one batch at a time, and one batch generally fills, oh, sorry about that, 1 demijohn. I think that's 5 gallons, is that right? 4.5 gallons, something like that. I think there's about 5 bottles of wine. We'll see anyway, because I've got one here in the background that's been fermenting for absolutely ages, should have been bottled up and hasn't. It'll be absolutely fine. So that's another job that I want to get done over these holidays, is get that bottled up, and then I'll be able to remember at least how many bottles it makes. I think it's 5. Anyway, let's get started. And there we go, back in business officially. So just a few bits of food items left from last year that we can eat, which we'll get to over the coming weeks and months, but this is now officially open for business. So I've got the dehydrator ready to go. There's a few things that I want to get dehydrated over this next 2 weeks, a couple of little projects and experiments that I'm going to share with you guys. And yeah, looking really good. I'm chuffed a bit. That didn't take long at all. So I've put those garlic to one side. I will put them in a pot. I've got absolutely nothing to lose. Can't believe I forgot about that after everything I was saying last year about growing them this year. But, you know, such is life. So this is going to get officially back opened as a whole later on today. But for now, I've still got plenty of work to be getting on with. So I best chop. Back to summer again. I think we can safely say these are desperately needing potting on, but isn't it interesting if you see how small these ones are on the right compared to the ones that have had the water on the left? I always thought peppers prefer to be a little bit dry, but clearly not. So these onions are only in the first few rows here. You can see I've already had, wow, look at the shadow problems. I've already had these little white tags have been pulled out by something, so I'm definitely going to have to make sure these beds get covered up. But anyway, potatoes are going in beds 2 and 3. This is just a box of what the onions were in, so I think we're about ready. I'm going to make a start with the rocket and the Pentland Javelin, because these are the first earlies and they are raring to go. The chips on the Pentland Javelin are a lot shorter and stubbier than these on the rockets here. I'm not going to take these off. Some people might, but these are actually quite sturdy chits. So rocket in first, Pentland Javelin, 3 boxes there are next, and then I'm going to just basically put the rest in no particular order, because I think these are the only first earlies that I've got. I've done something a bit different this year. I just have decided I'm going to plant in this way, this rows this way along, instead of kind of going short rows across. And then what I'm doing is having 1 full row of each variety and just kind of putting them in like this. I haven't covered them over just yet to show you. These are my spares. But interestingly, bearing in mind these are brand new beds and nothing's been grown in them before, something has already taken some serious root. I'm going to go and get my little digger and get that out, see what it is. I don't think I've got the roots though, I'll put literally. Anyway, that's that. Let me try and tell you this in between the cockerel growing. So this bed's now done. I've got a full row of Pentland Javelin. I've got a full row and a half of Pentland Javelin. The other half is Cara, another row of Cara, and then we have got, what were the other ones? There was Nicola, there's 6 Nicola down at the bottom, and then this row along the edge there is Charlotte. And that's this bed here, that row there is just rocket, so there's nothing else in that just yet. I'm going to get that complete, but first of all I'm going to get these raked over now that this one's done, and that is a really good job done. I'm pleased that I've got at least 1 bed done today. So there are 4 rows of 15, so 60 potatoes per bed. Well, that's it, 20,000 steps done, in fact over. So I'm chuffed a bit that I've got everything done that I needed to get done, that I've prioritised for today. Definitely more to do tomorrow, so why don't you come back and see what I get up to then. There's only one thing left for tonight.